Hey guys, this is my 1 year video update of my original My Student Loan Debt story. Now, I've had a whole lot of views on that video, so obviously it's really popular, so I thought I'd do an update to let you guys know how I've been doing in the past year. I also wanted to say that that's the video I had to turn comments off on, which I will get to a little bit, probably at the end of this video. So, June of last year, I was working a different job, and a whole lot has happened in my life since then. So I wish that I could say that this is an update video of a year of plugging away, $500,000 a month toward my debt, and how far I've come. It's not that, but it's not altogether bad either. With the situation that I've had and what little resources I've had, I've actually been able to do quite a bit, and I'm happy with the progress that I've made. So let me start you off with this. I have a few numbers here that I wrote down just so we can compare where I was last year. Last year, in June, I was at a total of... before I tell you this, let me jump back. If you look at my original video, it says I have $274,000 in student loan debt. And that's a ridiculous amount. I actually didn't, though. I thought I did, but there were a couple of things that happened that were wrong and ended up actually working out in my favor. So the first one was that a couple or 3 months before I made that video, Sally Mae switched to Navient, and they were my servicer for 3 of my loans. Or I thought 4, but we'll get into that. So, when they switched over, I started having trouble tracking my finances. I use Mint.com. I've used it for 6 years to track my finances, and they weren't able to connect with the Navient account. And they suggested deleting the account, adding Navient back. Well, I don't know what happened, but basically what was happening was it counted all of my student loans, but then it counted the Navient loans twice. So, Navient, that's a sizable chunk. It was like 65,000 total or something that I owed to them. They were showing doubled. So that's how it became $274,000. So it's not every day that you make a discovery and you're like, oh, I actually don't owe $65,000 that I thought I did, but that's what happened. So that was a big relief, and I found that out maybe like a few days or a week after I made the first video about my loans. So that's all taken care of. That's good. The second thing about that is that I swear to God that I defaulted on a Navient student loan. But shortly after making that video, I was calling them to try to make some kind of payment agreement, and they swear to me that I didn't have one. It doesn't show on their website. I don't know. So let's go with that. They say it didn't exist. Apparently I just lost track of one and thought I defaulted on it. I really don't know. But they claim that I didn't default and that it didn't exist. So those are two big things that really have helped a lot in as far as my debt. So adjusted for the ones that I thought I had, that means that last summer's amount was $175. No, I wish. $175,180.88. That's where I sat at when I made this video last year, which is like $99,000 less than I thought I owed. So that's, pulling $99,000 of debt off without even having to pay anything, that's an amazing development. So I wanted to tell you guys that I kept paying. I was putting away a ton of money per month toward these loans. I was making pretty good, decent money, working all the time, getting a ton of overtime. All that stuff went to the loans. So by September, the close of September, I quit my job. I think it was September 10th of last year. And I will make a video about me quitting my job and why I did. It's actually a really messed up story, and I think you guys might find it interesting, so I'll make a video about that. But by the end of September, I had taken it from $175,180 to $173,912.40. So, like, roughly $1,500 makes sense. I was putting away around $500 a month. Now, when I quit my job, there was a lot of my circumstances changed, and I really wasn't able to find anything else. I did get a job right away, actually, but I went from making, not including commission or bonuses or anything, like 17 hourly to, I think I was making 8 hourly. So it was a huge difference. And I kept up on my one small loan payment that was $51 or $52 a month, and kept it current, but I literally just couldn't pay any of the rest of them. Everything else went back into, like, being past due status. So, I will say also that last summer, at this time, there were a lot of past due amounts on these loans, and I thought that I was going to default on, I had 4 I was trying to pay. I thought I was going to default on all 4. I didn't think I could make up the payments soon enough, and it was either I was like, okay, do I try to pay equal amounts and default on all 4 of them, or do I try to just put all my money toward one and save that one? Well, it turns out I saved one of the Navient loans, and then I actually had time to start paying off the other one, paying off the past due amount. So in the end, I actually paid AES, my other loan provider. I paid that one current, paid both of my Navient loans current, and had the other Navient loan current. So I did default on one loan, but I thought I was going to default on 4. So that's amazing. Like, everybody told me there's no way that you're even going to save one loan, and I saved 3 of them. So I'm proud of myself. I know I'll get a lot of nasty comments for saying that I'm proud because I only defaulted on one loan, but I mean, it's better than 4. So that means that in September of last year, I was at $173,912.40 that I owed. That amount just kept going up because I wasn't able to make payments. I went 60, 90, 120, 150 days behind. And then, like, I got a new job back in April, so like 2 months ago, and I now have money coming in. I don't make quite as much as I did before, but I made a lot more than I did at that interim job. I'm able to make my loan payments again. I'm able to make extra payments, and I've been doing that. Anything that I get in overtime, commission, anything goes to that. So what I've been able to do now is as of the end of May, I paid down to $173,781.19, which means that I am now at a lower balance than I was back in September when everything was at its highest, or well, by its highest point, I mean its best point. So how that happened was, I think that Navient finally just agreed with me that I could not pay, because they always argued with me, and every time I tried, they'd send me stuff in the mail saying, hey, we really want to help you out with this, like, we understand that you have financial problems, but we want to try to work out a payment plan for you. Well, every time I would call, they would either, one, refuse to speak to me about reducing my payments until I completely paid everything off and paid it current, or they would just say, no, we don't have anything for you, fuck you. Like, that was, and then they didn't understand why I wouldn't call them or why I wouldn't answer the phone when they called, but it was, they call several times a day, and you have to explain the same story over and over and over again. And then when they're like, well, can you pay $14,000 today? And you're like, no. And they say, oh, you're refusing to pay. So I just don't talk to them. Anyway, what happened and what is currently happening that is making a big dent in this is that apparently Navient just was like, you know what, this guy's going to default. So let's try to help him out. And I'm a little bit mad because I've been like begging them to help me for 4 years. And they're always like, no. Like, there was never any help at all. And I've never been on a reduced payment plan. I've never been on anything. Like, they just refuse to help me whatsoever. So, I don't know how this happened. I logged into my Navient account one day. It was basically like the week I got the job, so like 2 months ago. And suddenly, everything was paid current. And the loan balances didn't increase. It was like all those past due payments, they were just gone. Like they were never owed. Everything showed paid current. And I just assumed that my cosigner had signed me up for something. I don't know. I never got any notification. And not only that, but except for the one federal loan that they managed, the other two big loans, the interest rate went down to 1%. Now, I'd always had pretty low interest rates. I had like 4, 5%, something like that. I know people that are getting loans nowadays, their rates are much higher than that. But these are from like 10 years ago. And my rates have always been pretty good, which was the only thing I had going for me. But then they just dropped to 0, or not 0, but 1%, which is amazing. Because, I just got this job. I'm going to be able to put money toward it. And now, for whatever reason, it's dropped to 1% interest, and I've been able to make a dent in the loans because they're just not accruing interest at an insane rate like they were before. So, what has happened, I asked my co-signer, she said no, she didn't sign up for anything, she didn't do that. I think she did, and I think she just doesn't understand it, but I'm not going to complain because I think it's an indefinite time period, I don't know. It's 1% interest on all the loans, and she is now paying as well, which my co-signer has never made payments to my loans. And this month, I think it comes out on the 13th or the 15th, an automatic payment from her account. This is going to be the third month that this has happened. There's going to be a payment of like $200 and some that'll go into there. And I did finally get a letter from Navient basically saying you have to make this payment on this date for however long the program goes. Of course, I don't know how long the program goes because they didn't tell us. But about $62 of that is going toward the one that I'm tackling right now. The 100 and some goes toward the other loan. But if my mom's paying $200, and my mom's my co-signer, if she's paying $200 and some a month, I pay a minimum of $75 plus sometimes anywhere between $200 and $700, whatever I get on my commission check. As long as it stays at that 1% interest, I got a good chance of knocking this down. So if I make an update next year, I may have, probably won't have paid it off, but I'll probably have paid off half the balance of it, and that'll be amazing. Now, I wanted to say why I chose this one loan to focus on, because I have my AES loans, which I'm not able to pay, and I have my Navient loans, which are current. The first is that I paid off my first student loan. It was paid off with my first commission check that came in early May, so just last month. Its original balance was only $1,936.25, and it was the Stafford student loan, the first one I ever took out in college, and it was managed by Navient. So that one's taken care of. I think that was a 2.32% interest rate. That one's completely paid off. So because I was able to pay that one off, the payment that I made toward that one, I sort of snowballed it, put it toward this other one that I'm paying. Now, I know Dave Ramsey and I know Sue Zorman and I know all their different strategies. Their strategies don't work for me as far as paying off student loans because every strategy they have assumes that you make enough to pay your loan payments. And I don't. I make pretty decent money, but my student loan payments are so high because I have so many loans and owe so much that my payment amount is actually more than I make every month. So there's no way. So what I have done, my strategy has been, I don't know what's going to happen with my employment. I don't know what's going to happen in life. I don't know what I'm going to be able to afford when. So what I do is, instead of starting with the debt with the highest interest rate and working my way down, I am actually starting the one that is the lowest amount. And I know that has to do with one of those debt payoff plans, but that is for the psychological satisfaction of getting it paid off. That's not my reasoning. My reasoning for it is because I want to make sure that, say, instead I paid $500 a month to my $47,000 loan, or whatever it is now. Well, if I paid that for, let's say, a year, and then I lose my job and I can't make payments, it's just going to go back up to that same amount, and it's going to be like I never made any of those payments. But if I can put that away toward my $1,900 loan and have it gone and paid off, if I can do that to my credit card, if I can do that to this one loan that's like $17,000, then that's what I'm going to do, because that way I know that that's not coming back and it's done. So that's the goal. That's why that one's the next one. All of my other loans are like $45,000, $32,000, things like that. This one that I've got with Navient that I'm paying on, it is originally, well, we'll go over that in a bit. The current balance is $17,943.67. Okay, so I'm putting, between me and what my co-signer's paying on it, we put around $275 to $1,000 a month toward that. So that one's going to go away next, and then I'll start fighting the big loans. So the next thing that I want to talk to you about was I've seen a lot of people say how much interest they've accrued on their loans. Like they got a $50,000 loan and it was $100,000 now after they've made all the payments. I don't want to complain that mine aren't that way, but I do have a hard time seeing how that's possible. As many forbearances as I've had, as many times as I have not paid, and all the penalties and late fees that I've accrued, I don't see how people are getting those numbers. So I don't have this for all of my loans. I only have it for my Navient ones. But I just wanted to read these numbers off to maybe, hopefully, inspire somebody out there that is not completely hopeless, that not everyone is completely crushed by the interest rates. So on my signature student loan with Sally Mae, now Navient, the original balance was $16,121. The current amount is $17,943.67. Yes, I've made a lot of payments toward that, but at its highest, I think it never got to $19,000. So not even $3,000 in interest over a course of 10 years. Okay? My second one is my tuition answer loan. It was originally $30,900. It is now $45,666.98. And then, of course, my Stafford loan, which was originally $1,936.25, it's now $0. Completely paid off. Don't have to worry about it. So, what that means is that while I didn't make much of a difference, I'm only for total of all of my loans, I only owe about $2,000 less now than I did this time last year. But 7 or 8 months of that was unemployment. Well, not unemployment, but very much underemployment. I really wasn't able to pay off anything. So, keeping a steady job that pays decent, and the lifestyle I live is very cheap, plus I put a ton of money, like any extra money I have, I put toward loans. I'm even thinking about getting like an extra job for weekends, things like that, to just pay them down faster. And because of that, and then everything I make from YouTube, it goes toward my loans too. So thank you. Please give my video a few watches, and then that way I can put the extra few cents toward my loans. And Sally Mae will love you. But anyway, I just wanted to make this video to sort of update you guys. And you would think that maybe if I'd only made a couple $1,000s progress in a year, that I might be like really distraught, but I'm really not. I'm actually very hopeful and very optimistic, because I really do think that this is the kind of thing that, by God willing, that nothing traumatic or tragic happens in my life again this year, that next year when I come to you, I'm going to say I'm probably going to be nearing 150,000. Hopefully it's lower than that, but I think realistically, I'm sitting at 173,781 right now in total loans. If I can get down toward 150,000, I think I should be happy with that progress next year. That's, almost $24,000, and that's a lot of money. So let's see where I am in a year with an update. If you guys are in similar situations, please let me know. What you did, how it worked for you. Like I said in my first video, I have every intention of paying my student loan debt. I never thought that I would just not pay it. It's always been a matter of not being able to afford to pay it. Literally not making enough per month to cover the student loan payments. So, with that said, I am going to leave the comments for this video open. They are turned off from my other video because basically I had over 100 comments on there when I turned it off, and it was basically most people just saying, you're an idiot for getting in debt in the first place, and it was people just saying, well, you owe the debt, just pay it and shut up. If you watch my video, that's what I'm doing. I'm making this video because my mind's so set on paying the loans. So anyway, if it turns out there's a lot of asshats on here, I'll just turn the comments off. It doesn't really bother me that much, but I just don't like getting 1,000 emails with all the nasty comments on it. But if you have anything positive to say, I do very much encourage you to comment. If you like videos like this of paying off your student loans, real life experiences with student loans, and finances, go ahead and give my channel a subscribe. I do have a few financial videos on the topic of how to get out of poverty, which I'll be adding to soon. I'm also probably going to make a video sometime within the next few months of some debt collection practices that I've encountered with Sally Mae and with some other loan providers, and some debt collectors, and those are kind of like ridiculous stories that are entertaining. And also, I just want to let you guys know that there are a few things that you can do to pay off your student loans other than just paying that minimum payment. One of the things is to get a second job. Obviously, I put any windfalls toward it. I put anything I make off YouTube. Like I said, I'm also probably going to be getting a part-time job. That'll make it go super fast. That'll make it go down super fast. So hopefully, if I can make this difference up here, let's say the goal for next year for these loans is to pay off half the balance of that signature student loan with Sally Mae. sits at $17,943 right now. So let's say $18,000. If I can pay off $9,000 this year, I will be stoked. So, anyway, guys, hit that like button if you like the video. Give me a subscribe. Share my video. If you have any friends that need financial advice, have them put a comment down on the video, and I'll try to respond. I'm pretty good about responding to stuff. Also, if you have been through this yourself, let me know any tips or tricks to pay this down faster. And I hope that I've inspired somebody out there. I know that it can get just a crushing debt, and just you just it takes over your mind, and it's so frustrating and just so disappointing and makes you completely unmotivated. I get that, but I think that I'm living proof that no matter how bad your situation is with your student loans, it doesn't have to be. You don't have to be upset. It's actually going to be okay, and you can pay this off, and you can do okay in life, and it's going to be great. So, like I said, guys, please subscribe to the channel. More of these type of videos are coming soon. Look forward to another couple videos here this week, and thank you again. Thank you for everybody who subscribed. It's been a great year on here, and I really do appreciate how much this channel has grown. I'll see you guys later.